We walk into new chapters of our lives, new jobs, new roles, and even new cities, carrying with us the quiet suspicion that everyone else knows what they're doing, and we are somehow the exception. There's a silent, universal performance happening all around us. And that is the art of faking it. You do it. I do it. And so does nearly everyone else, whether they want to admit it or not. This collective masquerade isn't just about pretending to know the intricacies of life or remembering the right steps to take each day to drive us towards our goals. It's a universally felt experience shaped by social expectation, private fears, and our longing to belong. Remember the first day at your new job? Maybe you laid out your outfit the night before, rehearsed your introduction, and planned to arrive 10 minutes early. You walked in with a script in your head, only to forget your manager's name when you shook their hand. You smiled, nodded, and clung to whatever small certainties you could find. The location of the coffee machine, the rhythm of the clock on the wall, the polite laughter at someone's joke. Here's the secret. Every single person in that building has stood in your shoes. Even the ones who look perfectly at ease now, who answer questions without hesitation and type away with the confidence of seasoned professionals. Everyone began with the same blend of anxiety and hope. They too started by faking it, learning through imitation, through trial and error, and through the stories they told themselves. During those first weeks, you likely encountered an avalanche of information, acronyms, names, logins, and details that seemed straightforward to everyone else, but tangled in your mind. You nodded when you were told what to do, then quietly Googled the instructions later. And you were not alone. I remember sitting through my own orientation, my head buzzing with terms I'd never heard before, jotting down notes I was too embarrassed to ask about. We all stumbled through the same steps, sometimes dancing in rhythm, sometimes tripping over our feet. Each misstep felt enormous, as if each error proved our deepest fear, that we didn't belong. But mistakes are the true curriculum. We only ever really learn by doing, by failing, and by trying again. We are united by the awkwardness of beginnings. You might have believed you were alone in your uncertainty, but the truth is that everyone else was just as unsure, just as desperate to make a good impression. We're all just as afraid of making a mistake. With time, though, the unfamiliar becomes routine. The questions you once asked become answers you can now provide. The tasks that once required intense focus become background noise. You find yourself correcting a new colleague's error, only to realize you once made the same mistake. This transformation is gradual, often invisible in the moment. There's no ceremony, no clear marker where you cross from impostor to expert. Instead, proficiency creeps in quietly. You stop checking your notes as often. You start offering suggestions in meetings. You catch yourself speaking in the language of the workplace. It's only by putting in the hours, by repeatedly showing up and risking failure, that we become pros. There are no shortcuts, only the honest struggle of learning. The confidence you admire in others is not proof that they never faked it. It's proof that they kept going. Why, then, do we feel like failures when we stumble in our lives? Why does not achieving a goal strike us as evidence of our own unworthiness, rather than as a necessary part of our growth? The answer lies, in part, in the ideals we carry about success and about ourselves. We hold up a vision of perfection, that competence is immediate, that mistakes are shameful, that worth is proven by uninterrupted achievement. Social media and the highlight reels of others compound this illusion. We see only the victories, never the hours of confusion behind them. We compare our unfiltered realities to someone else's polished presentation, and inevitably, we come up short. But here's a radical truth. None of us has ever been human before. We are all beginners at living, learning, and loving. Each day is a new attempt, an experiment with no prior rehearsal. If we fail, it's not because we're inadequate, it's because we are trying. And trying is the ultimate form of courage. We forget that no one is born knowing how to navigate life or even their own hearts. The sense of faking it is not a sign of failure, but a sign of growth, a sign that you are pushing beyond what you know, risking vulnerability for the sake of becoming. Consider the trajectory of any personal journey. At the start, we all imitate, we all pretend, we all guess at what is expected. Over time, the facade becomes substance, but only because we gave ourselves permission to try and to fail. We are more alike than we are different. The performance is universal, and so is the learning. Wherever you are in your journey, know that the person next to you is likely faking it too. They are silently hoping no one notices their uncertainty, even as they admire your apparent confidence. What if instead of criticizing ourselves for not knowing, we honored our bravery for trying? What if we recognized that the only way to become truly skilled is to first be a beginner, and that every mistake is actually a lesson in disguise? You, me, and everyone else, we are all improvising. We learn through trial, error, and the kindness we extend to ourselves and others along the way. If we measure our worth, not by our perfection, but by our persistence, we might find that the faking is not an act of deception, but an act of faith. There's no shame in not knowing, and no shame in feeling lost. The myth that everyone else has it figured out is just that, a myth. We are all students in the art of being human, and each day offers a new lesson. The next time you feel like a fraud, remember, you are not alone. We are all here, faking it together, learning as we go. And in the end, perhaps the only real failure is refusing to begin.